Ian Boyne was an outstanding role model for many of us media practitioners. His production rate was unmatched. His slavish commitment to read widely is legendary and should be emulated. Boyne's from the school that says ours is a vocation, not a job. Ian cared and thought deeply about our beloved Jamaica. He was a patriot. His mission was not only about earning for family, he was also driven by what this land, Jamaica, can be. He was passionate about playing his part in making our beloved Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, and do business. He never made it to one of the so-called traditional high schools. He didn't have the old school tie connections, but he overcame all those potential handicaps by his capacity for hard work. He had a fixity of purpose and self-belief. Ian knew he was damn good, if not more blessed, with the innate ability to overachieve through his unquenchable thirst for knowledge. That quest was fed and sustained by his deep religious faith and sense of humanity. He cared deeply about his family, his people, and his peers. Yes, we, his colleagues. His is an enviable and amazing rich legacy. He will continue to live on in his columns, interviews, his exchanges with us on radio and television. His widow, Margaret, his children, Kelly, Brianna, Andre, take comfort in the fact that he made a big and positive impact on our fledgling democracy. The history and record of journalism in post-independent Jamaica is in much better shape because of the outstanding contribution of your husband and father. Sleep well, my friend.
One of Ian's hallmarks was the meticulous research he would undertake before any journalistic endeavor, whether his widely read columns in the Sunday Gleaner, an interview on the much-admired TV show Profile, or his participation in any radio or TV talk show to defend his sometimes controversial but always interesting viewpoints. To say he was well-read would be an understatement. He devoured books on a wide variety of topics, and as a result could write and speak on almost any issue of national importance with confidence, and could confidently interview anyone about those topics. Profile was an example of journalism that inspired and motivated people, especially young people, and I think we'd all agree that's something that we really do need in Jamaica today. After decades in the profession, Ian still maintained his passion for journalism and had an insatiable yearning for knowledge. He took on any issue and was never afraid to call out those in society whose opinions and actions he disagreed with, including his colleagues in the media. He called out me and Cliff numerous times. That's okay. At the same time, any young journalist who met Ian would tell you of his innate courtesy, friendliness, and willingness to share experiences and advice. He would get passionate, he would get heated, he would never get rude. The Press Association of Jamaica extends its deepest condolences to his family, his friends, and colleagues, and we hope this outpouring of support and love for him helps to lessen your loss.
Ian also did us proud by the rich, exciting, and intellectually stimulating Religious Hard Talk, a show unlike any other that we have seen on television across the Caribbean. First it was on radio, then it was on both radio and television, before it then continued a powerful 13-week season every other 13 weeks on Television Jamaica TVJ.
At the Jamaica Information Service, he lived with us during the daylight hours of each weekday and spent precious time, even after the official end of the workday, strategizing with the management team, reasoning about the news, writing styles and communication, inquiring into this business called life, and just laughing at ourselves. To show the extent of his love for us, he would often tell his family how much he looked forward to returning to work after his vacation. He simply hated to be away from his beloved JIS family. He wore many hats and meant so much to all of us. To our security personnel, Mr. Boyne was their homegrown celebrity who made a huge difference in their lives. Miss Hewitt told us how there was a marked improvement in how she was treated in hospital because the nurses saw that the Mr. Boyne cared. To our staff, he was an advocate, extraordinary character, and debonair. Mr. B endeared himself to all staff through his generosity and presence. He always gave a listening ear. To his direct reports, Tashion, Montego Bay manager, he was a teacher. And to Barney, managing editor, he was loyal and a deep thinker. And Celia, research and publications manager, he was compassionate and gracious. To Maxine and Dave, supervisors of the photo department, he was a motivator and a team leader. To the other members of our management team, the superlatives are almost endless. Andrea and the PR department said he was a mentor and confidant. For Andre, head of the computer services department, he was an inspiration. And Andreen, special projects manager, her word for him was irrepressible. To Mr. West, our finance manager, Mr. Boyne was caring. And TV manager, Carrie Ann, an encourager, her very own Barnabas. To Mr. Gardner, director corporate services, a philosopher and visionary. And Mrs. Locke, HR director, Mr. B was a multi-talented and influential coach. Production director, Enthros Campbell, remembers him as her friend and support, just a lovely human being. And to me, he was always by my side. Mr. Influencer, Mr. Supporter, and reliable sounding board. The balanced Mr. on the other hand. I will miss our spontaneous checking in with each other, our wordsmithing, consulting, the ribbing which only he could endure, and the hilarity which punctuated our meetings. Ours was an enviable working relationship, characterized by grace and wit.